believe it or not, actually going to bed earlier messed up my sleep schedule a little bit because at this point I'm feeling a little bit tired. Or maybe it has to do with something specifically with being a little bit more involved in housework as of late, but you never know. In any case, good evening, afternoon, or whatever time of the day it is in your part of the world. And tonight, as promised, we will be checking out Shadowrun Hong Kong's custom campaigns. Specifically one that has been described to me as being pretty good. Let's see. Come on, there we go. Give it a second. Should be appearing any second now. Come on now. There we go. Quick adjustment, and looks good. Now, what's strange is that I am supposedly subscribed to the first campaign in here called, as mentioned, the Antumbra Saga, but for some reason both in here and in Steam Workshop only second and third one appear. The Caldecott Caper and Calvary in Chains. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that. With your internet outages and all that, and you being on mobile, I'll have to make do as is. Let me just check one last glance over here. See, the Antumbra Saga, and I am subscribed to it. Maybe I'll just need to go for a quick subscribe, unsubscribe. That should, in theory, do the trick. So, in a second. In the meantime, at least enjoy the music. Because it is pretty good if I do say so myself. I could at least check the FAQ if something mentioned it here. Let's see. I already played the original Antumbra Saga for Shadowrun Returns, played part of Antumbra for Shadowrun Returns. Should I play this game before the Caldecott Caper and Calvary in Chains? My general recommendation is for the new players to start with the Caldecott Caper, which is more polished than Antumbra Saga and has a gentler difficulty curve. Antumbra Saga does take place first chronologically, though, so you're invited to start here if you already know that you want to play the entire trilogy. Is there a DRM-free version of the Saga? Got any tips for me? This fight is impossible, I hate this. Fascinating. But so far, nothing too solid. Maybe in the bug thread they'll have something. Long pauses after killing enemy. I see. Eclipse is too dark. I'm stuck. No idea as to why this happens. Funny. Looks like either the Antumbra Saga got rolled into the Caldecott Caper, or something is a bit fucky here, but I suppose let's assume the best and jump into the Caldecott Caper first. So, The lowest form of life in the Sixth World is that of the corporate rent-a-cop. You're paid a paltry wage for the privilege of defending the megacorp's ostentatious wealth from the desperate gangers of the Orkland sprawl. Enter a world of turmoil, greed, and violence as you struggle for survival with the aid of a few hand-picked allies. After Caldecott, the cycle continues with Calfrey and Chains available now for Shadowrun Hong Kong. We'll get to that one later. And here we go. First things first, character creator. I think this time we're gonna play as a female orc. Archetype, I'm thinking adept, physical adept this time. And for our portrait, I'm thinking we go. I am tempted to go with that one, but it's more of a decker slash rigger look. So how about no, that one's decent. So we'll go with that one. 26 karma to spend. Now I just need to remember what are the main stats for the adepts. May even need to look at a guide to remind myself. Then again, I can just do this and remind myself. So, physical adept. Key attributes: body, strength, willpower. Key skill: chi casting. For the body, I think we can jump up to 6 body, 5 strength, what do we have in chi casting? Level 1 can equip Killing Hands and Dragon Lines Visible. Level 2 can equip Magic Resistance and increase Spellbook slot. Also grab Spellcasting 2, Willpower 4, and that leaves us with 2 karma to spend on, I'm thinking, Bioattack 2. Or at least Bioattack 1. That's always applicable. After all, you can't go wrong with seeing your enemy's HP. We'll get to that in a bit, and we'll save up this karma point for any future use. Now, as for the character and how we'll name her, I have to think about it for a second. There we go. Nice and classy, as for an orc. Some folks think Shadowrunners lead glamorous lives. Those who enter the shadows quickly learn otherwise. Being a runner means taking the jobs that come your way, no matter how dangerous, no matter how unpopular. Today starts the same as every day has for the last 3 miserable years. Patrolling the Gauntlet, the most dangerous zone in the deadliest city in the Bay Area sprawl. The life of a rent-a-cop is decidedly unglamorous and tends to be short as well. You've lasted this long thanks to in part to a highly developed sense of paranoia, and thanks in part to Rafik Toth, who has walked this beat even longer than you. You okay there, sport? You look like you were a million miles away. Oh, I was just thinking about what happened on our last patrol. Yeah, that was a bad scene. No worse than what went down in September, but still rough to swallow. Well, the sooner we finish our rounds, the sooner we can get off the streets. I'm ready whenever you are. Any special objectives for tonight? Just the usual. Make ourselves visible, try and goad anyone who wants to take pot shots at the Shiawase Express to shoot at us instead. Then we shoot them. Rinse and repeat. You'd think that the gangers would have learned by now to hold their fire. Our cred sticks should be grateful that they haven't. Do you think there will be any blowback from the last shooting? From the Corp? Nah. When's the last time they gave two shits about some poor, sinless trog gunned down in the street? We just need to remember to fill out that requisition for ammo reimbursement. From the streets, though, yeah, maybe. He was packing, but his back was turned. That always looks bad, no matter what the extenuating circumstances. If he had any friends, they'll probably make an appearance. Duly noted. Let's go. Patrol the Gauntlet. Lovely place. And lovely ambience. Hold up here. I should check this out. Alone. You've known for some time that Rafik makes extra creds on the side. Nothing too obvious, but he has a habit of brief absences and hushed conversations in the middle of your route. Sure thing, boss. Just as every time before, Rafik disappears into the alley for a few moments. You continue to survey the street. You spot a small figure disappearing beneath a manhole cover as Rafik walks back towards you. A dwarf, then, unless Oakland has a gang of subterranean street urchins. You wouldn't be surprised. Peter Pan's lost boys aren't exactly welcome here still. Now, shall we? Does Cora know about this? Are you kidding? She's the one who set it up. She insisted on vetting them first. Wanted to make sure they weren't allied with the metahuman people's army or anything nefarious like that. Let's keep moving. It's dangerous to stay in the same spot for too long around here. Your followers will pay attention to your words and actions. The decisions you make will improve or damage their opinion of you. Disgruntled companions will still follow you, but may eventually leave if you continue to antagonize them. Keeping your crew happy will help ensure their support and loyalty. And we just gained favor with Rafik for letting him just do his thing. Psst, take care. Looks like trouble up ahead. Let's be careful. Ready to do this thing? Hell yeah! ZLR will be stoked if we finally took him down. Wait, he's on a horn. The ganger's comlink crackles to life. A fervent voice bellows out, its force evident even through the tinny speaker. Today you strike a great blow to the metahuman people's army against those who seek to keep us down. Our enemies will learn not to intrude on our turf. Fuck the man, fuck Saito, and fuck everyone associated with this goddamn rail line. Now get out there and do your thing. Sounds like there's a new chief of the MPA. We'd better break up whatever they're planning or there will be hell to pay with Shiawase. How do we proceed? Through here, I suppose? Maybe. Huh. Murder Face. What a lovely name. And if we go through that direction, looks like it's not. The Body Mall. Symbiotics, Synthocardium implants, adrenal pumps, mnemonic enhancers, synaptic accelerator. Complete yourself. I wish I could, advertisement. I wish I could, and yet I have no money to do that. Die, flunkies! This one's for Josho. Huh, I guess there they are. What do we have here? I've got a machete. There's the killing hands. Unarmed damage increases by 3 when ends passive, but active means unarmed damage increases by further 4 for 3 rounds. Which means I'm gonna introduce you to my 5-finger discount. Get it? Because you sure do. most likely will get shot. Ooh, that was a nasty crit, but still, nothing too serious. For now. Now that was unfortunate. So, what do we have? Rafik got Armor 1, Blur 1, and Bear Totem. Which means we ought to stick him closer to us, or at least put some armor on us. And, yeah, still too far away to get some effective shots off. Yeah, that's right, run off, take a shot, miss, and now, let's try this again, shall we? Oh, you gotta be one sneaky, slipping Jimmy. And yet, there are still ways to make you appreciate what I'm giving you. Especially with ease. Rafik lowers his gun, his brows are furrowed but his voice clear. What do you think? Must be because of that guy who tried to geek you last time. It never ends, does it? The more we put down, the angrier the rest get. Our luck will run out long before they run out of bodies. That's the job. We knew the deal when we signed up. I suppose we might as well try and get what we can out of it. Hey, I think that one's still moving. How do you want to handle this? Kill the Gengar, call a medic, leave the Gengar alone. We're not monsters, are we? But how do one calls a medic? Ah, right here. Makes sense. Rafik arches an eyebrow but doesn't argue. I call a medic for you. You've earned that treatment. This man, though, he shot at you. You can't trust him to do the same thing the next chance he gets. Still, we're not animals, are we? Hopefully that guy will learn his lesson, and when next time our paths cross, he will return the favor. You never know out in the shadows. You never know. Watch your step, fool. Don't enter raider territory unless you want a beating. I go where I please. Nobody from the outside is welcome here, especially no corpse suck-ups. Do I look like someone you want to mess with? Step aside before I put you down. Alright, I could take you, but lucky for you I'm feeling lazy tonight. Move your ass along, woman. And that's how you defuse a situation with muscles. And maybe a terrifying presence application, though I don't think we have that one on us just yet. And that's where we'll be heading up next at some point. For now, however, time to take on these chums. Shit! Look out! Too late. You spot the barrel in the middle of the parking lot. The pool of oil. The barely visible microtransmitter. A light blinking, blinking, blinking. Beep, 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 beep. Boom. Fucking gangers. Damn you all. Oh no. Oh no. You remember nothing. It all ends. But how could you have known that it ended? Unless it started again. A thought. You grasp onto it, clinking desperately as it pulls you back towards consciousness. I think I must exist. I may still live. As you drift back to consciousness, you hear a familiar voice nearby. Comes around? I don't know, maybe another 5 minutes or so. Give it time. After all, it took Lazarus 4 days. His voice drops another octave lower, trembling with anger. I swear, you're jerking me around after all I've paid you. Rafik, come on, leave the man alone. He did his paid-for miracle. Rafik. Now, nobody would mind if I take this. And this. Reward hard earned. Even if because the other guy won't need it no more. Aha! Alice, I almost thought I wouldn't see you again. I'm not that easy to get rid of. He seems about to embrace you, then hesitates. I'm not sure how fragile you are. Doc? Well, that's something the three of us should chat about. How did I survive that? Well, that's a very good question, which we'll maybe get answers to right now. What exactly did you do to me? You were in an awful state when you arrived. The ancients would say that it wasn't even you. No heartbeat, limited brain functions, and then there was the little matter of most of your skin missing. It was a bad scene. I had to rush you over, and this was the closest clinic available. Crikey. Fortunately for you, I had a patient die under my knife just yesterday. Had a whole fresh cadaver available for spare parts, along with a few gewgaws of my own invention. Unfortunately, the operation is incomplete. We're using 2030's tech to patch you up, and that tissue is gonna die fast unless we get some acclimatizers into your bloodstream. Is this gonna mess with my essence? As little as possible. Rafik here warned me that you're a spellslinger, so I tried to make the surgery as minimally invasive as possible. There's no metal in you, just raw people parts and some small bits of bioware. I'm a bona fide Frankenstein, and feeling much better already. By the way, what happened to your last patient? Shiawase engineer, name of Cameron. Got offered a fantastic job by a hotshot Silicon Valley firm, but was locked into a long-term contract backed up by dermal implants. She was going for a total body makeover that would let her disappear into a new corporate world. The idiot neglected to mention that she was allergic to peanuts. I like to snack where I work. You do the math. However, back to the issue at hand. Where can we get acclimatizers? You can't. I can. I've spent the last decade building up a network that gets me illicit supplies with no questions asked. I say the word, I hand over the creds, you get the implants that let you live. And how much is this gonna cost us? Now that's the really interesting question. You see, I already had plans for those parts. Some Johnson came in here this morning and offered serious bank for them, no questions asked. Even promised to clear up a few minor outstanding legal issues for me. So far so good, until your partner came in here and made a compelling counteroffer. Shove the shotgun in your face, more like. Indeed you did. Indeed you did. But the fact is, my Johnson isn't gonna be happy. I can deal with him for you, but you'll need to make it worth my time. I gave up a big payday to save your life, and I don't work pro bono. So, what's the figure? 250,000 new yen. Rafik's face grows pale from shock or rage. What? 250,000 new yen. Look, it's simple arithmetic. You wrecked a deal worth 200,000. You have my IP inside your body. I need to deal with a very scary looking man who probably works for Ares and call in favors to ensure that your body keeps working past the end of the month. But you already took all the new yen I have. That was just to get your friend in through the door. As soon as I cut apart that cadaver, you were on the hook for the rest. But we can apply your life savings as a credit towards the final payment. So let's say 215,000. Rafik, you really paid for my operation? Yeah. Look, you've had my back so many times I couldn't just let you bleed out like that. It's only money. Seemed worth it to save your life. But does this mean that Cora... Yeah, we're back to square one and saving up for her operation. You know Cora, though. She would have insisted on if she was here. Always putting herself last. I do the same for you. Thanks, Alice. Let's hope it never comes to that. Why didn't you call in the Shiawase medics? As if they'd lift a finger to help one of us who's been injured on the job. In case you forgot, we're Shadowrunners. The whole point of them hiring us instead of sending in their own goons is that we're disposable. Providing dock wagon support would impact their accounting and wipe out the cost savings we offer. I need to think this over. Of course. Take your time, but not too much time. In the words of the old cliché, your biological clock is ticking. Let's get out of here. We'll figure something out. Toller's unorthodox and incomplete surgery has granted you a new ability, Adrenaline Rush, available from your cyberware options while in combat. This is a high-risk, high-reward choice that grants you additionally, be at the cost of ongoing damage. So cast from hit points, as per usual. Now that I've got 2 karma to spend, how about that Biotech 2? Should be worth it. I certainly hope so. Hot white pain unexpectedly arcs through your entire body. You let out a gasp as you stumble. Rafik grabs you before you reach the ground. Alice, you okay? It hurts. Just hold it together, champ. We can't let you slip away from this world quite yet. Just think of all you have left to do. See a dragon, trend on Truly Tradio, get the hell out of Oakland. We really need to get back to my place. Cora will have some ideas. She's a whiz at managing chronic pain after all she's been through. Cora sure sounds like a swell person. I wonder how she looks like. You retreat to Rafik and Cora's apartment. Mutual relief at your miraculous survival quickly decays into dread as you ponder the few options available to escape from this mess. I have a few ideas as to how we're gonna earn this, but we'll leave that to the specifics. Any chance your pals at the People's University could finish up the surgery thing? Cora shakes her head sadly. If you'd gotten her into one of their clinics right away, then maybe, but even that's unlikely. They're hella good at patching up holes from corp bullets and maybe singed fingers from bomb manufacturing gone awry. Replacing someone's entire dermis, though, that's dog wagon territory. At this point, you're committed to Tolar, like it or not. No way Alice can ditch that transplant and start over again. Sorry, honey. How about the folks in Haferville? I'm afraid the fine dwarves of Haferville aren't terribly enthused in performing free surgery for any orc who walks on in the door. They owe me some favors, but not big enough for this. How are you feeling, Cora? My legs are much better today, Alice. Thanks for asking. Rafik gazes protectively at her. I swear, if I ever find the asshole who started dumping chems into the Richmond soil. You'd need a time machine to do anything about it. That shit has been going on since before I was born. I just had the misfortune of spending enough time there in a tiny enough body for it to do some real damage. If you're gonna get old knight in shedding armor, do it with the kids growing up there now. They have more to lose than I do. Not as much as me. You think too little of yourself, sweetie. We'd be lost without you. You two have done enough already. Oh, come on. You're like family to us. We'll look after our own. You didn't ask for this, but like it or not, you're the most interesting thing happening right now. So, brainstorming time. How could we go about raising several 100,000 new yen? Maybe we can find more lucrative work. If there was more lucrative work out there, I think we would have found it before now, champ. It isn't crazy to think a high-end Shadowrun might pay out that level of cred, but we aren't exactly the top of anyone's speed dial at the moment. Hold on. What about if you hit that train? Which train? That train, dummy. The one that will get blown up every day if you and Alice didn't ensure it had a clear path through the gauntlet. Sorry, babe, but that's what we call a passenger train. It isn't exactly the Royal Mail. It doesn't just carry wage slaves. It has some cargo, too. Yeah. You know, you're right. The Shiawase Express runs between downtown and Walnut Creek. It mostly just carries corp workers safely across Oakland, but when the corp needs to move cargo in that same direction, it's cheaper for them to add a freight car than to run a separate train. And I imagine security would be lower on a passenger line, right? You're really getting into this. Yeah, they'll have some more guards to watch the cargo itself, but they have always skimped on security for that rail line. Witness our present employment. I like this idea. After all, it's because of the corp job that you got into this situation in the first place, and knocking over that train isn't going to take food off of anyone's table. At the worst, it'll shave a fraction of a percentage point off their share price. If you two are game, I'm in. Hold up there. I can't deny the idea is exciting, but let's face facts. If robbing the train was easy, someone would have done it by now. What do we have that they don't? Inside information about the train operations. True, but that will only get us so far. I mean, they tell us the timelines, and I can sometimes pry a few more secrets loose from dispatch, but that's about it. If we're really going to do this, we'll need to go much deeper. Duty rosters, access codes, the works. Please don't tell me that you two are going to do this yourselves. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're very talented at what you do and all, but this seems like it will require some specialized help. Hmm. Do you know any hotshot deckers who can get us into the Shiawase system? Cora, do you have any friends on the People's University of October 25th Alliance who might help us out? Lots of deckers who are happy to crack unsecured nodes, maybe steal some embarrassing secrets for a quick payday. Not many who would want to risk tangling with Black IC in a secured megacorp system. Though there is one guy who passed through the PU a few months ago, named Sable. He was definitely looking for a challenge. I think he moved on because our stuff was small scale. Sable. That rings a bell. I overheard a couple of young hoppers in the gauntlet throwing that name around. Some new toy of their bosses who was springing their boys from the slammer. He must be hot if he can remotely override lockdown, even in a broadcast city like Oakland. It might be the same guy. You should check him out. Maybe he can get you in or at least point you to someone else who can. What if there's a safe to blow? An explosive specialist would be handy. Cora, who was that pyro you were talking about the other day? Oh yeah, the Phoenix. Just rolled into Hafferville and is really making a splash among the populace. Sounds like a real loose cannon, but I think that's exactly what we're looking for. Someone who enjoys to making gigantic expositions and isn't terribly concerned about the consequences. And finally, we'll need an expert on trains, some whiz-big iron rigger. I got nothing. Kids around here only care about drones. You hardly ever see anyone even rigging an auto, let alone a locomotive. Wait, Alice, who was that rigger you ran into on Alameda? The one who helped us chase down the NTTs? She was a California Ranger at the time, but I think she's moved on. That's right. She seemed adept at operating multiple passenger vehicles at once. That's probably our best lead. I still think this sounds nuts, but I'm excited. It'll be nice to shoot skeet for once instead of being the clay pigeons. Who do you want to go after first? Let's go to Oakland and find that Decker. And then we'll go after the rigger and finally the demolitions enthusiast. Sounds good. I'll hold down the fort here. Here's the last of our savings, Rafik. You should hire another runner to come with you. What you're doing is hella dangerous, and there is no shame in asking for help. Oh, and don't forget to bring along those medkits. We were stockpiling them for a reason, after all. You two be careful now. You've dodged death once, I doubt you'd be so lucky again. Don't worry, Cora. I'll keep an eye on her. I guess there's our stash. And there's the medkits. One regular, one basic, one advanced, and a dog wagon trauma kit, which goes on me immediately. And you know what the rest of the medkits do. As for you, Cora, got anything else to say? Hi there, Alice. Good to see you on your feet again. Rafik told me all the gory details. He may not show it, but he was hella shaken up by what happened. I haven't seen him that upset since, well, ever. I'm lucky he's a good orc. Oh, don't I know it. And he still finds new ways to impress me. I'll be teaching some classes for the People's University in a bit, but first I wanted to greet you and make sure you're doing okay. You're welcome to stay here with me and Rafik for as long as you need. Our place isn't very spacious, but it's safe, and since you two will be working closely together, you might as well keep an eye on each other. What classes are you leading now? I have a few sessions on my intro-level Matrix course, basic safety skills, jacking protocols, navigating hosts, things like that. Some of my alumni are looking for more advanced work, so I've now started offering seminars in evading IC and deploying ESPs. Honestly, it's still not rocket science. If someone's a true decker, they'll figure all this stuff out on their own much more quickly than I could teach them. But the Matrix is a fact of life, and lots of folks need to deal with it even if they don't want to become experts. Hopefully, my classes help make the digital life a bit less arcane for the masses. Where will you be teaching, by the way? Oh, right here. There's no physical campus for the PU, so almost all of our classes are virtual, especially Matrix ones like mine. There are a few ad hoc distributed groups that will meet up in person. That's really helpful for classes like vehicle repair, but since Saito is cracking down on the PU, we need to be careful to never meet in the same place more than twice. There we go, community effort. Underground, but still community effort. What does Saito have against the PU? I think he lumps us in with the October 25th Alliance and the Metahuman People's Army as dangerous militants trying to oust him from power. Which is patently ridiculous, of course. The PU is proudly pacifist. Even if he didn't believe we were secretly plotting his downfall, though, he would probably still feel threatened. We seek to educate and help everyone, but the people who benefit most are Saito's natural foes. The dispossessed, poor orcs and trolls and dwarves who he shoved out of San Francisco and into the slums of Oakland. Individually, these people are no danger to him. He could crush them at any time. But if he faces a knowledgeable, prepared, effective populace, then he will find it much more difficult to expand his domain. Which, by the way, will be another topic we'll be covering over at our reading of Dictator's Handbook. I mean, I can't say much right now. I've only skimmed the contents table, but it will be covered, specifically the topic of educating your populace. So, look forward to that one too. Thanks for letting me crash here. Of course, you're like family to us. Enjoy your stay. Now, what do you have on the pewter? Ah, it's a shopping terminal. That's where we get our gear. We got weapons, magical equipment, medical supplies, technology, cyberware status, and policies. Speedy Delivery is a cooperative venture of the October 25th Alliance. We work hard to connect orcs, trolls, and other metas with merchants and consumers in their local neighborhoods. Remember, $1 paid to the Megacorps is $1 that will be spent to oppress you. Keep your hard-earned money in your own community. Shop local. Shoot San Francisco. If this was Berkeley, I could have made some Freaky Tales reference. Well, unfortunately, we're not in Berkeley. We are in Oakland, now known as Orkland. Or maybe soon to be Orkland. Now, what magical equipment do you have? Let's see. Conjuring. That's for shamans. Spells, that's for mages. Outfits, there's the shamanic ritual garb, armor 3. And weapons as well. This should look much better than our current outfit. Sign off. Ah, there we go. For a second I was worried that I'll be stuck on a black screen, but no. Hey Alice, you look much better than before. How are you feeling? Better. Always the optimist, huh? I'm glad to see you're holding up so well. We've been running together for, 5 years now? You're like a sister to me, and I trust you with my own life, but I still don't feel like I really know you. That's because we're professionals. That's right. You never know how long the other guy will last or if they will turn on you, so discretion is the best policy. By this point, though, I think we've passed whatever threshold for trust we have. So what's the story? Why did you start running in the shadows anyway? And that's where we get to make up our own backstory, which, honestly, I think I'm gonna go with something more grounded. I grew up poor, never had a sin, figured I'd turn that liability into an asset. A common story, but a solid one. Sometimes I feel like the system sows the seeds of its own destruction. But it tries to force everyone to play their appointed role, people inevitably escape and end up doing more damage from the outside. Luckily for us, that damage pays decently well. I suppose I should give my own story, huh? You've probably pieced it together by now anyway. I grew up here in Oakland. My whole family is orc and, well, you know what kind of lives are available to orcs around here. Hired muscle, freelance thievery, organized crime. It isn't exactly the stuff people are proud of. My siblings all joined various local gangs. I'm the youngest and saw firsthand how brutal that life is. Recruits spend all day hustling on the streets, keep only a sliver of what they earn, and are the first to die whenever trouble starts. I wanted something better. Or that Will Smith orc movie. You mean I Am Legend or something else? So I started taking classes at the People's University. Practical stuff, how to avoid marine patrols, where to scavenge free food, what shops will sell to people without sins. I also met other orcs who had started their own businesses, or who had traveled to the East Coast, or even worked as consultants to corps in the city. I decided that I was going to beat the odds and become the best orc I could be. I met a couple of like minded people at the PU. We became private security contractors, providing local knowledge and presence to outsiders who wanted to do business in Oakland. And then I met Cora. You two obviously care for each other a lot. She was one of my instructors. Taught me how to use the Matrix, and if you can believe it, 2 decades on this planet and I never once saw the digital world. We just clicked, instantly. She's the sort of woman you dream about after watching too many trids. Kind, funny, thoughtful, brave. I'm still amazed that she saw anything in an oaf like me, but the day she agreed to a date was the happiest day in my life. And I've had many more happiest days since then. Where he's a cop and his colleague is an orc. No, I don't think I remember that one. Is the chat not transparent on my end? No, it is not. In the sense that it's not appearing over my game at the moment. I need to tab out to OBS to check it. As for the color of the chat itself, I suppose I can tweak it around a little bit with the CSS what was it, settings. But I'll hopefully get around that next time. I should make it at least keep the messages. Once I remember. How about you, Alice? Do you ever dream of finding a nice person? Yep. Hang in there, lady. I'm sure you'll meet that special someone sooner or later. Anyway, at least, as you've no doubt noticed by now, Sweet Cora is an idealist. She understands the realities of Orkland, but also believes that we should act to improve them. We had some long talks and decided that she'd keep teaching at the university, while I'd focus on work that helps keep people safe rather than put them in danger. Of course, I didn't expect those people to be corporate suits. With Cora's medical bills coming due every month, we needed a steady paycheck. Most Shadowrunner work is feast or famine. You get a big score, then try to live on it for as long as you can until the next one comes around. The corps are always desperate for help in the gauntlet, though, and while the pay isn't great, it's reliable. Cora wasn't too happy about that first. It flew in the face of her self-sufficient anti-corporate principles, but we had a long talk and decided that it was the best for her. Best for us. If I had someone like Cora in my life, I would have made the same sort of sacrifice. Yeah, everything changes when you commit to another person. It's no longer about figuring out what's best for you. You learn to put yourself in another's shoes and get even more pleasure from making someone else happy than pleasing yourself. Enough talk. I guess we understand each other better than before. Good thing too. We'll be seeing even more of each other until this thing is done, and it's important that I know what kind of woman is by my side. Off we go then. You're the best rent-a-cop you'll ever find. Who else do we have here? Eos, a rigger equally talented with drones and submachine guns. El Duce, a street samurai whose vendetta against Shiawase Corporation has led him from Hong Kong all the way to the California Free State. Lucky Strike, a street samurai infused with tattooed circuitry, skilled with blades, grenades, and guns. And Alexander Falk, Haverville's newest and most helpful mercenary. I think we can grab Eos for this one. She's got Uzi 3 with a Smart Link and Doberman Mark II Assault. The gauntlet can hit you like a mailed fist, but it isn't as solid as one might think. From week to week, the scene on the ground changes as gangs gain or lose territory. Saito mounts attacks and pulls back under heavy losses, and a patchwork of various opposition groups waxes and wanes in influence. The only constant is danger, but the source and nature of that danger is always shifting. Following leads for the elusive Sable, your attention is drawn to the Orkland Raiders, a splinter group from the radical metahuman People's Army. If your decker can be found anywhere in the sprawl, this is a good place as any to start looking. I have some karma now. Very nice. Time to actually invest in dodge, quickness, and I suppose a little bit into close combat. And out we go. Back to where it all started, actually. There. Hey, five-finger discount. Haven't seen you around these parts lately. I've been busy. Look, I know your specialty is getting shot at, but I was wondering if you might be up for some actual police work. I'm investigating an outbreak of murders in this block. First, Sammy Short Pants got iced, now Oscar the Ouch. It's one thing for addicts and gangers to show up as corpses, but business folks are much less common. I figure it has to be either the Metahuman People's Army or the Orkland Raiders. They've been fighting over corners for the last couple of weeks, and it's inevitable that people would get caught in the crossfire. But I'll need some harder evidence to close the case. Got any leads? There are a few witnesses nearby, but I couldn't get any to talk. You might have better luck. Other than that, not really. The body is still festering to the southwest if you want to check it out. I'll see what I can do. Appreciate it. Good luck. Southwest. So down there, I'm guessing. Let's see, what do you know, little boy? You looking for something? What happened to Oscar? I ain't seen nothing. Well, don't go anywhere. As soon as I get 100 new yen, I'll be right back to you. Also, in hindsight, maybe I should have invested more into charisma. Because, as always, I need to be the face of the party. And that, of course, means charisma. Dead man walking. I saw you go down, woman. Nobody could get up from that. You must be a ghost. She ain't the only ghost. I was all shot up and this fool called the medics to revive me. Probably thought we'd be all grateful and shit. Well, I ain't. She killed Joshua and the rest of our posse besides me. Let's even the score. Let's talk this over. No talking, it's time to kill. Ah well, so much for that. This time, however, I'm not letting you go down. So much for gratitude. Oh. Missed that one a little bit, but I suppose we can go for some blur on us. Well, time to get your drone up and running. And you yourself also go into cover. At least over here. Now, how good is your bot? It's got a burst turret with burst fire, sweeping shot, and flush target. Decently good. Oh, they also got a hellhound, it seems. I think we can continue our friendly conversation at a decent pace. Especially if we land all of our shots like that. Kinda like that. Come on now. There we go. A little better now. Let's say hello to Strees, considering he has been oh so much charitable to us. One more. Definitely more than one. That one, however, goes down. Come on, me. Surely you can do better. I'm dead serious, but I'll still call you Shirley. Now then, there we go. There's the body. The body is starting to grow rank. Examine the cause of death. Oscar was shot. A lot. You count 1 wound in the thigh, 1 in the chest, and 3 in the head. Unfortunately, we don't have Etiquette Gang, Biotac 3, or Ranged Combat 4. So what do you make of this, Rafik? He frowns in concentration. We've seen plenty of deaths out in the streets. This one seems different somehow. It doesn't look like the handiwork of the gangs we've run into around here. Some new players might be moving in, or maybe just some new recruits. We should ask the locals if they've seen anything unusual lately. The corpse has been examined. We got one witness who won't talk until we offer him a bribe of 100 new yen for witness protection, because we don't have the requisite etiquette. Oh, I almost forgot. I've got something for you, Alice. Happy birthday. Thanks, Rafik. You're most certainly welcome. You've never told me when your birthday is, which means I owe you many missed gifts. Your recent scare made me realize that I should do a better job at letting people know that I appreciate them while I still have the chance. But I haven't given you any gifts either. Yes, you have. You've never gift-wrapped anything for me, but you've kept me company and lifted my spirits on our miserable patrol route, and pulled my ass out of the fire plenty of times. I feel like I've gotten the better part of the deal. I'll put it to good use. That's the idea. After this is all done, maybe you'll let me know what day your birthday actually is. I'm sure we can get one of the People's University baking classes to make you a nice cake or something. We make a great team, Rafik. I'll return the favor one day. He claps you on the shoulder. There's nobody I'd rather have by my side. Of course, we need to make sure you'll have that operation if you're going to get another birthday. Onward, then. Onwards and upwards. So, how about that witness protection? Put yourself in the witness protection program and start talking. Oh, thank you, ma'am. It was a bunch of humans, I swear it. They showed up, said they were cleaning up the filth, and started shooting at anybody with pointy teeth. They didn't even care that it was Oscar. They just wanted to kill. So they ran away before the MPA showed up, but it sounded like they were coming back. Be careful or they might get you too. Uh-huh. Racially motivated. You're blocking my light. I'm investigating a murder. How civic-minded of you. I hope you don't investigate every murder that occurs in Oakland. You'll never have time for anything else. Do you know who killed Oscar the Ouch? I don't know the name. I may know something about recent killings here. I'm not certain why I should share that information with you. You should perform your civic duty. Huh. And what has society ever done for me that I should owe it my duty? No, I'm happy to remain on the sidelines for this particular encounter. Well, I'll see you later. I do have one charisma point to spare, so I suppose we can actually invest it. Oh no, wait. That'll require a bit more. We need at least 4 charisma. So one more charisma point, and then we can pick up an etiquette. Alright, charge is ready? Yeah, she's ready to blow. Those trogs are in for a world of pain. Wait and watch. Whoa, I love that smell. Let's go in and finish the job. We should take these guys down. Oakland doesn't need an army of anti-metahuman meatheads running wild. Yeah, let's do that. Looks like we got us some trog lovers here. Ice them. The charisma of a tombstone certainly looks like it. And let's get you over here. And you can get over here. Nice and cozy. Oh, and we ought to repair you after that. Grenade? A flashbang, it seems. And a turret over there as well, in case that one's out of whack. Unfortunate. As was this. We muddle through. As that comic panel went. Oof. Yeah, I think this is where I pop one of my medkits. Good thing I have a couple of them. Hey, you should be going down. Sooner rather than later. And I got just the tools to make that happen. If you stand kindly over there. There we go. 1 down. 3 to go. Go for a aimed shot. Yeah, we're doing decent damage to the auto turret. It's not a problem. It is stationary after all. And we should be more concerned with this guy with a rifle, the captain. Oh, we definitely gotta fix up Doberman. This ain't looking good. So fall back a little. I'll let your rigger take care of you. There we go, that's the auto turret down. That was the easier part. Now, however, how about an encounter like this? Not bad. Not bad at all. He's a tough one, but nothing we cannot handle. Down it goes. Native Californian orders. What do we have? Delta Squadron assignment. Hit the gauntlet immediately. Kill as many trogs as you can, as quickly as you can. Return to the island once the heat gets too strong. Claude Bouillon. Yep, as expected. However, these guys seem to be just chilling. They don't seem to attack just yet, but something tells me that if I walk up to them over here, then they'll attack. Or if I were to grab that cred stick. So I'm thinking we strike first, I suppose. So, congratulations, you've been promoted to primary target. That was unnecessary. But if you insist, we can try that again. Even with a slow movement. Because your shotgun ain't shit. And look what I got. A machete. One that deals you AP damage too. How do you like that, huh? Bet you haven't seen that one coming, huh? And now, you're dead meat. I see you. You cannot hide from me. You can dodge my attacks sometimes. I don't appreciate that. If you close your eyes, how did that one sun go? Does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? There will be changes coming, but leave me on that. And that was not nice of you. So you're going down. I said you're going down. There we go, much better. Cramping my style, man. Now that we've got that money, now we can kindly speak to that mercenary. So, I find that money is an excellent motivator. That's funny. I always felt exactly the same way. The purpose an asshat named Claude Bouillon. He rolled into a town a few days ago, pulling a trail of native Californian human supremacists behind him. They got to work pretty quickly, striking out at various orcs and trolls nearby. I'm not sure yet what their play is. They don't have the numbers to hold any territory in Oakland, but they're definitely after something here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be on my way. Yeah, the streets are pretty dangerous around here. Will that be enough to convince the cop of who did the murder? Well, any luck finding out who killed Oscar? It wasn't a turf killing, it was a hate crime. Claude Bouillon's native Californians are moving in. Crap. You sure? Of course you are. You wouldn't make up something like that. The corps would love any excuse to firebomb a metahuman tenement, but they may have less appetite for going after human supremacists. Well, all I can do is run up the flagpole and see what happens. Here, buy yourself something nice. And 5-finger discount, please take care of yourself. You look awful. Gee, thanks. And I got my 2 karma, which means we're spending it on charisma. And the first etiquette we're taking, I'm thinking, is gonna be gang. Wait, I thought I'd spent it. I didn't? I didn't. So gang, confirm. Yeah, gang. Gang shit. Into the Orkland Raiders we go. The Orkland Raiders have made this former police station their own fortress. If you had to guess, you'd say that they are the 5th gang to hold this site in the past year. Each successive takeover has brought with it fresh bullet holes in the walls, new booby traps laid in desperate defense, and another layer of odiferous refuse. You've survived as long as you have by refusing to set foot in places like this. But if you're going to claim a new recruit, you'll need to see it through to the end. Good line of thinking. Knock knock, we come in peace, don't shoot to kill, please. A soft chime sounds. Moments later, a hologram appears in front of you. Welcome to the Coliseum, home of Orkland Raiders. This automated message is a friendly notification that you are about to die. Thanks to the latest advances in technological prowess, armed guards are a thing of the past. The Raiders send their warmest regards in addition to thousands of bullets. Should you wish to continue living, you may find the exit behind you. Otherwise, consider your deaths a valuable exercise for our self-learning AI. Have a good day. Ha ha. Well, what sort of... Ow. I should have guessed. Well, at least it goes both ways. However, I need healing. Wait, that counts as a flank? Never would have guessed. However, looks like I'm still good at punching drones. And that's all that matters to me right now. With the exception of maybe healing up. But we'll see about that in a second. Come on now. One more shot like that. Thank you kindly. Now, don't run into any traps out there. Otherwise, I will be disappointed. And come on, 76% chance. Very good. Huh, there's the stairs. Couple of other doors, an elevator. Let's check this door first then. Door number 1. No prize. Just a whole lot of pain. But maybe something to remedy that pain as well. I will see you up ahead. You can finish him off even without activating your drone arrows. There we go. And for our troubles, we get a basic medkit, which is admittedly nice. Now, door number 2. Now, of course. 2 of them. Which means we're immediately spending that medkit. Same thing as before else, we can at least get over here. And now activate your Doberman. Which means it goes... Fine. We'll put it here. And shoot the other one. Still counts as a flank, huh? Well, I don't appreciate that. I'm missing having 3 AP per turn, but that's life. We all had to start somewhere, and this is no exception. At least the enemies are decently cooperative, let's put it that way. That should also count for something, especially with that crit. However, you cannot hide from me now. I'll see you off. I said I'll see you off. Thank you. What do we have here? A frag grenade. And another frag grenade? No, a flashbang. That's also nice to have. Think that one paid for itself. Now, do we want the stairs or the elevator? Let's go up the stairs. There's the elevator. I suppose there was no big choice in here. What do we have in the trash department? Or I think it was an office at some point. Nothing here. That's besides the photocopier and the coffee machine. Or is it the water cooler? I think it's the water cooler. Nobody here too? Nice poster. Dunkelzahn 2056. UCAS president. I would have voted for him. He's the chillest dragon around, after all. And I do mean that. Knock knock. Anyone home? Fuck me! How'd you get in here? Sable! As Troll turns to look at you, he appears relaxed, but when his gaze falls on you, he quickly leans forwards in excitement. Oh, cool. I didn't think anyone would make it through my traps. Nifty. Are you insane, boy? I hired you to do a single job. Paid a ton of credits for it too, you may remember. If you can't do the job, why should I keep you around? Oh, don't worry about that. Sable eagerly waves his hands in dismissal. It's never been about the money. All my pay went into those drones, and they worked pretty well up until now, didn't they? But this is interesting. Hi, my name is Sable. You don't look like Japanese military or tongs, so what's up? We're looking for a decker to help us with a job. Well, that's interesting because I'm looking for new employment opportunities. Hell no, I own you. Please, ownership is so 19th century. You might remember that I offered to write up an employment contract, which you refused with some very hurtful words. Fucking deckers. You didn't sign contracts where you're doing crime. And you definitely don't back out of a gang at the first sign of trouble. Is this your first time as a crook? Well, it is my first time performing land-based crime. And it's been a very enlightening experience, but I do believe it's time for me to move on. What do you say? Care to rescue me from this unpleasant domicile? Don't worry, 5-finger discount is here to save the day. I get the feeling that this will be the start of a very fruitful partnership. Forget this. Enough words, enough tech. We do this the old-fashioned way. I'm guessing Sable is over there. Yep. So what was that about the old-fashioned way? We got 2 auto turrets, 1 Raider Bruiser, Raider Enforcer, Attack Dog, and Mad John himself. Suppose we move in. Nice crit, by the way. Always helpful. Not that I am against staying in this cover, but I wish it had been something a bit more substantial. So, substantial it is. Just gonna need to find us a better spot. And let's spot the Wonder Drone do its job. As long as it won't keep missing. Let's see. Regular attack and a thrust. That did a less damage than I hoped it would. On the bright side, they ain't doing much damage either. Oh, that one works on everyone. I see. Let's fix that misunderstanding. Like that. Thank you for your cooperation. It is always appreciated. Same goes for any donations on the stream. Then again, who am I talking to? Nobody in particular. That one was a little more hurtful. Oh, and a key card, which we'll get to later. But first of all, Raider Enforcer. Congratulations, you've been promoted to a priority target due to your shotgun. We hope you enjoy all of this attention lavished on you. I know I would. Anything else you got? A basic medkit to patch yourself up. And just a katana. I suppose we could immediately jack him into the Matrix to get the turrets on our side, but who has time for that? Then again, with reinforcements coming in, this might not be the worst option available. Yep, there it is. Turret retargeting complete, which I maybe should have done a little bit sooner, but hey, nobody's perfect, least of all me. You, however, are catching this machete. Congratulations. Here's your AP gone. At least a little bit of it. And have some armor on the house, always helps. What's this one? A flashbang. Fascinating. And another one. Now things are a little bit more interesting, but not interesting enough just yet. That's right, attack your own turret. This'll go swimmingly, believe me. Traffic, can you nail Mad John? Not quite. How about now? There we go. Much better. Yes, for you, little guy. Think you can take care of this enforcer? Or at least make him weaker, that's always appreciated. Now, can you do that with a thrust? Almost. Almost got him. Good night. Same goes for you. Now, if we can actually nail you right now. There we go. Much appreciated. Now let's grab the money. That's 1030. Hey, Sable. Truce, alright? Pale Pete. Oh, Pale Pete, right? How may I assist you? Look, man, shit is going down. You guys lit up the block with your fight here, and word's already got around that Mad John's dead. That psycho Zealer broadcast an ultimatum to every surviving raider. Pale Pete shows the vid message he just received. You immediately recognize the voice. It's one of the last voices you've heard before you died. You have lost your leader. I am coming for that pathetic police station you rats call home. You can choose to join the MPA and continue our fight against Saito, or resist me and die. The choice is yours. Ah yes, a power struggle. Fascinating. Zealer's MPA foot soldiers have already started moving in. They're the dominant gang here, so they're most likely to take over. Lots of raiders don't like it though. They want to keep the raiders going but can't decide on a leader. That's going to mean lots of infighting, and in the end the MPA will win anyway. So what do you want from us? Just to call a truce with the MPA and help consolidate power. They'll give you a safe passage from the gauntlet if you assist in defeating the resistance. One thing the MPA and the raiders have in common. They both have tried multiple times to kill you. Let's wipe this whole building out while we have the opportunity. I am not a fan of scorched earth as a general policy. Let's try to leave at least a few of my old associates alive. If nothing else, they may provide useful information later. Well, do we have a deal? We did save up a lot of Rafik favor for now, or at least I hope we did, so I'm thinking, alright, we'll leave the MPA alone and we'll help clear out the stragglers. I knew you were a smart orc. Cool. You'll find a few die-hard raiders down below. The MPA may pitch in and will escort you from the lobby once the building is clear. Sorry about that, Rafik. Sometimes you need to take hard choices. Hard main, hard gerb, and all that jazz. Got the basement access key. Oh, and that door is now open. Hello? Anyone home? Nobody will protestify radio fridge. But it looks like there's not much interesting over here. Damn shame if you ask me. Damn shame. Can't even raid the vending machine. Alice, we should probably have a quick chat. Of course. Back before that bad scene in the Gauntlet went down, I met with my Haverville contact to pass along some intel on rail operations. I've been pretty diligent at compartmentalizing different parts of my life, but now that my worlds are colliding, I'd like to shed some light on that whole situation. What are you getting out of these arrangements? Mostly money and a little access. Money helps cover some of the cost of Cora's medical prescriptions, and we donate a share of it to the People's University. They also let us know when their contacts have picked up information about activity in our home region. The dwarves get most of their income from tolls on trains going through the Caldecott Tunnel, so it's in their interest to keep the trains safe too. Even though the corps hate the dwarves, both sides need us doing our jobs. The dwarves pay a little something under the table, the corps a little more on top, and everyone's happy. So where exactly do your loyalties lie? Loyalty is earned, not given. You've earned my loyalty by walking the beat with me and supporting me when I needed it. Cora has earned my loyalty by accepting me and helping me become a better person. Shiawase has given me new yen and a whole lot of grief. I did their job for as long as they paid me, but I feel zero obligation towards them. The Haverville contacts are about midway between you and Shiawase on my loyalty scale. They keep their distance, but they've shown consistent good faith and are actively working to help promote Cora's ideals. I hope that clears things up. We're all good, Rafik. He looks visibly relieved. I had been concerned. I'm glad to hear that we can move forward on a clear path. In any case, I'll be far too busy with this current job to be of much direct use to my Haverville associates. Speaking of which, we should be on our way. Don't worry about it, big guy. A chime sounds on Sable's arm. He looks down at his display. It appears that the raiders have sent Deckers into my Matrix node. They must be trying to take control of this building's automated defense systems. I suggest we deal with this threat before proceeding downstairs. My IC should be able to hold them at bay for a little while, but if those deckers are coming in force, we'll need to assist our defenders. You created the system, so if you're concerned about the automated system defenses, that's enough for me. Defend against Matrix invasion. Okay, let's make this quick. And this guy seems to be having his better time of his life. What do you have, Sable? You've got Renraku Kraftwerk 1, Blaster 2.0, Suppression 1.0, Erosion, Medic, and Firewall ESP. All good. Hostile personas detected. Intrusion countermeasures active. That's what IC stands for. Anything we can do? Yeah, how about erosion? No, blaster. Here. Wonderful. One, two, three, and 4. I'd like to see you get out of this one, he says while leaving the exit, and he still takes the wrong exit. There goes my firewall anyway, but you're not too long for this world. Now, if I move a little bit closer, that should be enough to get you out of here. Like that. What do we have here? Oh, and of course, new threat identified, intrusion countermeasures recalibrating. Aha. Well, if that's the way you wanted to play, I suppose we hurry it up. And where do you think you're going now? Hitting me with my erosion back. Alright, that's medic. Reprogram IC back. Override accepted, reverting to original intrusion countermeasure targets. And you are not allowed in here. I just said you're not allowed in here, you asshat. Complete and utter buffoon. Fuck you. Eat erosion. Out of my sight. Sayonara! And down you go. Level 0 drones. New directive. Ally with Raider. Do we have level 0 drones? I don't think we do. Still, better be careful. So we run up over here. Anyone present? Does not look like it. It's just you and me and Teddy Bear. Haha. You don't have level 0 drones to take care of. You ass clown. Therefore, I'm taking you down gently. Level 0 drones recognize Raider as enemy. There we go. Can't quite reach you here, so I suppose I'll just let you come a little closer. Or, if you're willing to die, that's always also your choice. Because they will be having fun with your body. Or at least what's left of it. And I'll help out like that. The Matrix node is safe once more. You may jack out. But never jack off. Especially the Matrix. Speaking of jacking off, I see one in dire need of a banhammer. There we go. Always happy to see efficient work. Down to the basement we go. Where we'll end up, we obviously know. Huh. Used to be holding cells. There's the drones, which are on our side. Just gonna keep these open just in case. What do we have here? An advanced medkit. Very useful. I'll give it to Rafik for safekeeping. Nobody else over here? No, just some bones to make use of. And of course a barrel, which we will need to avoid carefully. Another one, eh? There they are. And they are also standing now right next to a barrel. And they also have an adept. How convenient. This battle will be remembered for centuries to come. We, however, would like to squeeze past you and away from this barrel, if it is possible. There we go. That'll better. Now, Sable, can you do something about that one? I think you can. But the result is less than ideal. Thanks for that, by the way. Always appreciate it when they... Ooh, now that was a good hit. Regular frag? Regular frag. We're still live. For now, at least. And that's why we still have medkits. But I will see to it that you go down. After we're, of course, done with you, so give me a second. There. Now, Rafik, you're free to cast the bear totem. And start wasting that rigor. So, Mr. Grenadier, how do you feel about your chances tonight? Oh, it don't look too good, fellas, let me tell you this much. And I'll see to it that they remain not too good. I'm just gonna need to stay over here and let my guns do the talking. Kinda like that, yeah. Especially if I were to move into... Yeah, over here is a good option. Now tell me, Sable, do you have any other consumables besides this smart proximity grenade? You don't? Ah, that should be good enough. Just don't miss. And there you go. Ooh, now that was a nice crit. Always compliment whenever that happens. However, here's flashbang from me too on the house. And now you're as good as dead. Hey, that was supposed to be a flank. Why didn't you make it a flank? Don't matter. We got her in the vice. She ain't going nowhere. One more. There we go. Au revoir. Office access key. Ground floor access key, and I saw it. Maybe I should grab a drink. However, what do you want to do with the hounds? We'll send them off to an animal shelter, obviously. Let's just hope it's not a kill shelter. I know just the dwarf to handle them. Now, if you will excuse me for a second, I will be off to get a drink. Be right back and enjoy the scenery of the office floor. Alright, much better now. The cough is still kind of there, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Oh, it looks like the office floor is where we were fighting Mad John originally, so not much has changed. So back to the ground floor we go. Haha, you're too late. Hey, we got the truce going, so please don't shoot at us, thank you. No one's here. I guess they're waiting for us outside. Sable chatters cheerfully as you navigate back through the streets of Oakland. She seems to have become a local expert on the minutiae of the gang life here. Who controls the which corners, where the best product can be found, the optimal locations to hide dead bodies. He eagerly queries your own knowledge of your old beat, nodding enthusiastically as new revelations come to light. It's almost a relief once you're back home. Sable now has a new environment to explore, and you have the next stage of your missions to plan. How much karma did we get, I wonder? 8. Not too bad. And it's time to invest into charisma. And a 1. And a 2. As for the etiquette, I'm thinking we pick up, let's see, either security or Shadowrunner. Let's go with Shadowrunner. And for the remaining 2, we'll go towards, let me think, unarmed. 1 point in unarmed, and that's about it for now. So, how are you liking your new environment, Sable? Ah, Alice, I was hoping to chat with you for a moment. Welcome to our base of operations. And such a wonderful base it is, too. I hope you won't mind, but I've taken the liberty of making myself at home, exploring the nooks and crannies, seeking out potential hiding places and escape routes. I find it very useful to know your environment well. Much like the Raiders' hideout, in fact, I would have been in much more trouble if I did not already know the appropriate routes to follow and those to avoid. You never know when you may be called upon to make a swift exit, so it's best to be prepared ahead of time and armed with its facts. If there is one thing more important than knowing one's surroundings, it's knowing one's leader. So I would like to direct a few queries your way, if you'll forgive a little prying. I'm curious to know about your roots. What kind of relationships do you have with your parents? A distant one. We rarely see one another. I certainly understand that. As one grows older, one changes into a different person, which necessarily changes the nature of your relationships with other people. And as you become your own person, the odds of you remaining compatible with your origin diminish. While families are very important to us in the early stages of life, as we mature, we turn outward, forming bonds with an ever increasing circle of people friends, business associates, members of our tribe or race or nation. One way or another, you have found yourself here in the Bay Area, the volatile heart of Calfrey. Tell me, what do you think of the political situation here? I think the chaotic situation in East Bay will explode soon. An interesting thought. It is true that acronyms proliferate over here the MPA, the PU, the O25A, and who knows how many semi affiliated Go gangs, and they do occasionally lash out against one another or compete for limited turf. Still, I believe that as long as Saito and the Megacorps pose a threat, the smaller factions on this side of the bridge will see the logic of maintaining amicable relations. And another question, if I may. What of your past romantic history? Are you a fighter, a lover, some combination of the two? Do I want to flirt with Saito? Or rather Sable? Not yet, I'm thinking. I've been around, but currently have no lover. Ah, woman of some experience. How wonderful. There are so few opportunities we have in life to bond with another person in that way. Certainly far fewer than opportunities for comradeship or friendship. How wise of you to avail yourself of those chances when they present themselves. So, what do you want next? I'm not used to getting this personal so soon after meeting someone. Ha, I fear it's simply in my nature. I just can't stand not knowing something, so whenever I find something interesting, I become obsessed with learning as much as I can about it. And you, Five Finger Discount, are very interesting indeed. You have endured more physical pain in a few moments than most people encounter in their entire lives, and you have emerged from this experience filled with determination to excel, to pass this test and continue on your course. So many others would have simply taken the easy way out and surrendered. And not only that, but you obviously have friends who care deeply about you, who have rallied to support you. In my own brief time with you, I've seen a similar sort of magnetism at work. How is it that you can convince even someone like me, who has never met you, to join this wonderfully mad scheme of yours? You may have a lens through which I can you may be a lens through which I can observe some dilemmas that have long intrigued me. Nature versus nurture, the influence of a great people versus the historical moments they occupy. I hope you're not limiting your attentions to me. You'll need to speak with the others to get a full picture of what's happening to me. Never fear, my curiosity is not limited. It can sometimes seem insatiable. I consider you the linchpin of our operation, but the other pieces of the puzzle are no less fascinating. Well, I'm pleased to have had this chance to chat with you and gain a glimpse of the woman behind the curtain. Please, if you ever find yourself in need of assistance with anything, do not hesitate to ask me. See you later. How are you holding up, Rafik? Hey, partner. Good to see you on your feet. So, how exactly did you and Cora meet? I told you, she was teaching a class on the Matrix. Oh, come on, Rafik, tell her the truth. That is the truth, but not the whole truth. Oh, fine. I might have seen her in Berkeley, though she thought she was cute, found out what class she taught, and then signed up for it. I thought I was being sly. He wasn't at all, though. I was immediately obvious when what was going on. There he was, sitting front and center, that big stupid toothy grin on his face, raising his hand every few minutes with another dumb question. Also, there's your Berkeley reference. Miss Cora, what does ESP stand for? Miss Cora, can you log into the Matrix without a data jack? You were trying so hard to seem dumb, so I would offer to tutor you. Hey, I really was that dumb. I never really saw the point in the Matrix while I was growing up, other than getting in touch with friends or ordering Thai food. He was just so earnest, which is not very common in my classes. I agreed to tutor him, then he started calling our sessions dates, and I didn't correct him. He never did finish the class, Rafik. Hey, I had more important things on my plate. You'll see, though. One day I'll come back and get my degree. I have a really strong rapport with a certain member of the faculty. You two are adorable. I didn't exactly try to keep things subtle. I dropped out of the class soon after, but I was always hanging around. Her friends and mine didn't exactly see eye to eye on everything. Not to mention our families. Cora comes from a proud line of dwarfs who were some of the first people to dig the foundations of Haverville. My family is disreputable. Sounds like a real Romeo and Juliet situation. Actually, Cora's parents were delighted. They've always been transmetahumanist, and I think they took it as a badge of pride that Cora would align with a trog like me. My family, though, yeesh. When you spend your whole life as an orc defining yourself as the epitome of strength, partnering with a dwarf seems like an act of weakness. I had to punch my brothers every time they said halfer or shorty or pipsqueak. Cora made me stop after the PU clinic complained about us coming in with multiple bone fractures every day. They eventually came around, though. I'd like to think so. My brothers finally got it through their thick skulls that Cora and I would always be a couple and found new ways to torment me. What was the worst of it? Dwarf-orc pairings aren't all that common. You see more of us in the Bay Area than almost anywhere else, but that still isn't saying much. We do get shares, even from well-meaning people. Weirdly enough, the people you think would object the most, like humanist members or the native Californians, don't really care. As far as they're concerned, we're all metas and interchangeable. Honestly, the roughest reactions come from other dwarves. My parents are great, but many dwarves are, well, proud of who they are. Which is great. Successful dwarves have overcome a lot of prejudice to make it in this sprawl. But many have a tendency to see dwarves as a sort of elite and worry that I'm, I don't know, lowering standards, betraying my metatype, not being a real dwarf. Pratchett had a word for those. Hawk. Then again, that's practically a slur. So I'm not sure I'm allowed to say it in this circumstance. Of course, nobody actually says anything, but yeah, I often encounter a chilly reception in Haverville, which makes it clear that I won't ever be welcome there. That we won't ever be welcome there. Funny, these answers are making it pretty clear that their relation is a stand-in for, I'd say, non-traditional relationships. Like, you shouldn't be so in your face about it. Do what you want in the bedroom, but don't parade it in front of other people. Or, if so many people have a problem with it, you should reconsider. They may know better than you. Option 3. Those dwarves will need to change their minds. The world should see that the two of you were meant to be together, regardless of your metatype. But let's be a little bit more supportive. Don't let them get you down. How you two feel about each other is much more important than how Haverville feels about you. Exactly. I mean, I'm not trying to piss people off, but if they get upset, that's on them, not on me. Fortunately, there aren't that many jerks around, and I'm optimistic that over time there will never be fewer and fewer. We may be able to change some people's minds. Or at least the old and cranky dwarves will die and be replaced by the younger, more accepting ones. Yikes, we've talked at Alice for far too long. Don't you two ruffians have a crime to plan or something? Certainly. How good of you to keep us on task, Cora. However, now it's time for me to speak to you. Do you enjoy working with People's University? I do. I'm proud of it too. The PU does good work, and I'm more than happy to support their mission. They've been a big help to Rafik and me as we've built our life together, and we try to aid them in turn. How did you first join up with them? They are practically in my backyard, but I first stumbled across them in the Matrix. The PU runs a major host and one of the prime places for folks to meet up and exchange information about surviving in Saito's Bay Area. I met a few members online and was impressed by the purity of their idealism. They're working to create a better world and do so by raising people up rather than striking down their foes. Exactly the sort of thing that a young dwarf wants to hear. I don't have much money to donate to the cause, and I'm not exactly equipped to help them out in person. Fortunately, though, the PU has always had a significant virtual component, and I can contribute to my modest decking skills to their mission. Yeah, but what exactly do you do for the PU? If I had a business card, I would say it would say decking instructor on it. I primarily teach underprivileged orcs and trolls who otherwise would have exposure to the basic skills for navigating the Matrix. She's damn good at it, too. You're too kind. A prime decker could run circles around me, but I like to think that I have some aptitude for teaching. Unofficially, though, I help maintain the PU host, keeping an eye on others on threads as they are bursting into flame wars, monitoring sea line accounts originating from corporate systems, petitioning wealthier members to donate more hardware to keep us running, inspecting their hardware to make sure it isn't carrying any nasty surprises, stuff like that. The whole thing would fall apart if it weren't for her. That isn't true at all, Rafik, and you know it. The whole strength of the PU is that it's a distributed, ad hoc, non hierarchical organization. Any one of us could fall, and the system as a whole would keep chugging along. Well, it would be a lot less pretty without her, at least. How do they compare to some of the other activist groups? Well, as you've no doubt sussed out by now, practically every single metahuman on this side of the bridge is more or less filled with rage at Colonel Saito and his exclusionist policies. Many of the people living here were forcibly expelled from San Francisco, and even those who weren't have learned to hate and fear his Marines' violent sweeps through Oakland and the surrounding areas. Of the three main resistance groups, the PU is the only one completely committed to nonviolence. Most of us fear that launching attacks against the humans would just encourage retaliation and would spark a race war that none of us want. We seek to set an example for a better future, one based on tolerance and cooperation. The metahuman People's Army, in contrast, is wholly devoted to the downfall of the occupation of by any means necessary. They're willing to accept collateral damage if it weakens the Marines more. I am sympathetic to their viewpoint, but fear that they are only hardening Saito's resolve and giving him more excuses to crack down. The October 25th Alliance falls somewhere between the two. They directly strike at Saito's troops and when given a chance, but avoid hitting any civilian targets. The PU often coordinates with the Alliance on important programs like our literacy classes, basic skills training, and running co-op stores free of corp influence. In that case, on the extremist to pacifist scale, I think we're. For what it's worth, the October 25th Alliance sounds like they have the best approach. In the long run, I wouldn't be surprised if the Alliance and the PU merged together. We share the same goals and 90% of the same tactics. It's that last little question of violence that divides us. They're good people, though. I've run with Alliance folks in several side jobs. They're smart, disciplined, and very careful. Catch you later. Now let's go in the computer. I wish we could also sell off the older stuff that we've got. What do you have in weapons? So, chi casting. We've got Mana Fist. Powerful magical punch that pierces up to 4 armor. Shares a cooldown with other Mana Fist spells. Nerve Strike. An attack that does low damage but slows the target and reduces their aim. Killing Hands, which we already have. And Magic Resistance. The adept gains a medium cover bonus to magic spells. I think I'll grab that one. And a straight monk outfit would be more on brand for me than the shaman clothing. However, that one comes a little later because I've already made my choice. Up next, let's look out for our rigger contact. We'll grab Rafik, Sable, and that is it. Nobody new for now. Besides, we'll need the last slot for our new acquaintance. So, out we go. The last 2 days have been a blur. Percy remembered you from your last encounter and agreed to meet with you, but only if you met her on board a cargo ship departing the port of Oakland tonight. No details, but something in her voice told you it would be a good idea to bring along your weapons. Then again, it's always a good idea to bring along your weapons, especially to the port of Oakland. Vast quantities of legitimate shipping goes through here, but even more is smuggling, contraband, or worse. Organized crime syndicates from both sides of the bay keep watch here, protecting their investments and capitalizing on opportunities. You hope that whatever Percy has in mind doesn't end with you on the seabed. There's always a chance for that, but we just need to be a little more careful. Because you never know. Oh. I guess these guys are not exactly happy to see us here. Halt! No entry without authorization. Oh, excuse me, I must have gotten turned around. I'll see myself out. A tag dog, another security guard. Well, no other way around it, I suppose, so we'll just have to strike out first. Especially because they're standing by this very juicy industrial waste barrel, so... Come on now. There we go. That's what I like to see. Sorry, doggy, but you're in the bad place. So now we're gonna send you over to the good place. After all dogs go to heaven. That's what the movie taught me. You know which one. That's gonna be a conjurer. Nope, just a regular security guy. Now, Rafik, would you be so kind as to get into a better position over here? We definitely should. The backlog just keeps on growing, believe it or not. I'm guessing that's Percy's crew. Almost. But I'll get you in a second. Come on now. There we go, minus 1 AP. Some damage never goes amiss. Especially damage like that. Not like that, though. That's bad damage. You never want to get stuck with bad damage. It seems Sable is not as good at combat as I thought he was, but maybe that accuracy buff will do something to him. We'll find out in a bit. %67% chance to hit. Yep, that is a miss. However, we still got our own 2 cents to add. Yeah, you do have mark target. That's something. Hey, you can, ow, at least apologize for that. Swear to God, some people just take it all for granted. Security has been disposed. Now let me grab these new yen. Every little bit helps. 813. Very nice. Hey, your crew got a name? Don't seem like it. Or maybe you are Percy's associates. So, Sable, funny story. Excellent, I do love funny stories. Over the last few months, Five Finger Discount and I captured a bunch of gangers taking potshots at the Shiawassee Express. They all went to the Oakland City Jail. Most of them just walked out of their cells several days later. No bail, no trial, and no record. Would you know anything about that? Oh, that would be me. What did you do? Yes, the main reason the raiders took me on was to help solve their incarceration problems. Their overall gang numbers were quite large, but most of them were in the prison system, where they had limited effectiveness. By my second day on the job, I had cracked Oakland's rather abysmal security apparatus. The city does not segregate their subsystems, so if you can break into their municipal waste computer, you'll have full access to their law enforcement records. Doesn't Lone Star handle security matters? Lone Star is not for entities with New Yen. Oakland has no money and its perps have even less. If I ever get arrested, I hope it's in Oakland. So when we kept facing the same strung-out trigger-happy freaks week after week, that was your doing? You could say that, but I think not. I certainly didn't force anyone to join the gang or put a gun in their hands and tell them what to shoot. I merely gave them the freedom to make a choice. Regrettably, they continued to make choices which put you in harm's way, but the choice was still theirs to make. And what did you get out of it? Was it all about the New Yen? Not at all. This was one of the poorest paying jobs I've had, but it gave me a good vantage point for observing the fascinating chaos of the Bay Area sprawl, and allowed me to spy on the inner workings of a criminal gang, something which I had not previously experienced. But if it caused you or Five Finger Discount any harm or distress as a result of my actions, I apologize. Thanks, Sable. I appreciate that. It takes a real man to take responsibility for his actions. Yeah, that is correct. So let's meet up with Percy. The tug takes you out to the CSS Sisyphus, which lies a short distance offshore. It has already been loaded up with cargo and is about to embark through the Golden Gate and onto its final destination. You quietly board in at the aft of the vessel, avoiding the security agents patrolling the ship's perimeter. It wasn't too long ago that you had much the same job, and while you don't have much experience on the open water, you're very familiar with standard security procedures and how to evade them. You begin to search for your regular contract who promised you to meet here. 5 Finger Discount. Glad you could make it. Those fools on shore give you any trouble? Nothing to worry about. Good. I need you to stay focused for the main show. Let's see. When was the last time we met up? About 2 years ago. Right. Good times. Well, since then the California Rangers and I have parted ways. I got bored of being stuck on Alameda, and they weren't so happy about me wandering out to other Rangers' turf to dispense my own brand of justice. So if you were hoping to use my connections to the Rangers, I'm afraid I burned those bridges. Actually, I was hoping you might help me with the train. Ah, trains? It would be trains. Look, I'm sure you're a great lady and all, but I don't do trains. Hate the things. My visions of hell, locked onto a track, going straight top forwards forever. Think less tracks, more loot. Wait, you're going to knock over a train? Well, that's different. Yeah, and it's gonna be a core train, right? So I'd be sticking it to the man and showing everyone how totally lame trains are. Yeah, I can get behind that. And with that single sentence, she just pissed off the entirety of train effers over on Fonto's server. Tell you what, you help me out with this little thing and I can pay you and play engineer for your job. Let me guess, I'm going to get shot at. Again. I thought life after the Rangers would be fun. It is mostly, but now that I can't legally shake down speeders anymore, my income's been drying up. Ah, gods, I miss my armored 18-wheeler. Where was I? Oh, right. I've been reduced to running tugs around the bay. Yeah, stuff it. I've heard it all before. It's okay work, except it's boring as hell and they keep cutting my payback. I figure it's because they haven't seen my skills in action, so I goes, let's manufacture a little crisis. Put the fear in them, make them feel grateful that Percy is on their payroll. What exactly are you asking me to do? She gestures towards the bow of the ship. Head over there, find the comlink, announce that you are pirates who have taken off the ship, demand, I don't know, ransom or whatever. I'll hang back here all ladylike, then when they start feeling the pressure and calculating their losses, I'll swing into action, pretend to throw you off the boat, and be the hero of the day. Sound good? Is there anyone else on the ship? Yeah, a couple of guards. Not sure if they'll give you any trouble or not, no skin off my nose what happens to them. What do you think their reaction will be? The corps are all paper pushers. They'll check the value of the cargo, the cost of a response, then fuzz around with their fingers up their asses. Once they're nice and panicked, I'll swoop in to save the day. Why not, actually steal the cargo? Sure, if you know anyone who wants to buy thousands of tons of timber. Not saying there aren't buyers, but I sure as hell don't know anyone local. That's why they're shipping it out of here in the first place. I mean, wood for sheep? Anyone willing to trade? Wood for sheep? Oh, right. We're not exactly playing Catan over here. And even if we did, I'd rather be reading that one story to you. It will come up a little later after that. Okay, let's do this. Awesome. So I'll just be waiting here, quietly. I'm rigged into the local surveillance system, so I'll keep my eyes and ears on you. Good luck. Thanks. Sees the ship radio. Avoid detection. Stealth is, of course, optional for this mission. Not that way. However, that don't mean we're not gonna be trying our damnedest. But they are making it a little difficult. Now I suppose we can also try and save at this point, just so that we are nice and cozy. Now can we run up past you? Looks like we can. They really can't see farther than their own nose, it seems, so primitive stealth section a go. However, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. And just focus on getting on through. There it is. The mic is hot and ready for use. Hey, Dreckheads! I've taken control of your pathetic ship. If you want to see your precious cargo again, you'd better be willing to pay. Please stand by for direct communication from a representative of this vessel's registered owner. Ma'am, you appear to be in possession of corporate property. Be advised that a wet work team in your vicinity has been dispatched to your present location. You may minimize casualties by surrendering upon their arrival. And communication. Well, this ain't good. Shit. I take it that wasn't in the plan. Figures that they would have their interdiction team in the bay the one day we try to hijack a ship. Usually they're too busy chasing smugglers down by Pigeon Point. Well, nothing for it. I'll be boarding soon and you can forget what they said about surrendering. It's just a trick to get a clean shot at you. These wetport teams don't fuck around. They'll spray anything that moves. So, change of plans. We'll be stealing from this fine vessel after all. Specifically, there's a nice submersible that will make a killer getaway vehicle. Let's get cracking. Back over here, as expected. She's got a Benelli Raffaello shotgun with a smart link. Just what we needed. No, really. Oh, and there's our first guests. Sable, hopefully you will survive after that. 47% chance to crit as well, but no luck. What the fuck? No survivors! I guess they're gunning down the corporate security as well. Funny. A funny little man. It's a free-for-all out there. And we are definitely taking no prisoners too. Leave us be, savvy? However, let's get everyone nice and close together and then we can pop the bear talisman. No, not the talisman. The totem. Now, can we just run past them? I think we can. Just need to be a little more careful. I catch a stray bullet or two, but then again, who didn't? Or rather, who won't? That, by the way, was not welcome, so your privileges for living have been revoked. I said your privileges for living are about to be revoked. Like that, thank you. However, won't rest until you're actually dead, so congratulations. Congratulations on that front. Ow. Not so fun being on the receiving end of a mana ball. And I'm definitely healing up Sable with that. But then again, maybe we should just run past them. Also a Doberman Mark II. How good are you? Class C drone turret. Can engage basic self-repair protocol, commando sniper, commando mage. You are decent, it seems. However, we're still going to need you out there, cracking heads. Kinda like that, but better. I'm sure you can provide us with this service. Otherwise, I will be somewhat disappointed if this trend continues. But for now, it's all good, man. As long as they keep their attention on the security team and not on us. But I think it's time for me. It's time for you and I think it's time for you and I to go. That's how the song went. Maybe we're still going to need to take care of them. They seem awfully eager to fight. Especially for a bunch of Renraku goons. Or I suppose they are State of Japan goons, considering they are Marines and all. Alright, you are going down immediately. Kus, as they say. Link, and then down it goes like a sack of potatoes. Same goes for you, by the way. That's your cue. Thank you. Good riddance to this god-awful tub. I'll be happy to never board a cargo vessel again. Just laying this out there, but given that Shiawas is pissed at you anyway, you could just go for broke and sink this thing. It might create a nice distraction for you and get it for your getaway. Then again, it could also make him even more determined to hunt you down. I noticed that they're carrying some undeclared munitions, so you could easily rig him up to go off after you exit. Big boom, then glug glug glug, down it goes. I should point out that the more attention we draw to ourselves now, the harder things will be later. Your choice, boss. But move fast, we don't have a whole lot of time before the big guns arrive. Let's commit to the bit a little bit more, and by that I of course mean that, leave the boat. Let's just get out of here. Percy disconnects from the cargo ship, jacks into the sub, and you're on your way. The sound of approaching choppers and hydrofoils gradually fades as you make your escape deep beneath the waves. In all the excitement, you didn't have time to thoroughly inspect the interior, and soon make an unpleasant discovery. Ooh, is it another ghoul? Or a surviving Shiawase employee? Guess we'll find out soon enough. Wouldn't want to leave that on a cliffhanger. So, nicely done back there. Shiawase will be busy with the ship for a while. Now we just need to... The sub violently shudders. Your ears are assaulted with a violent noise, which is shortly replaced by an even more ominous silence. Well, shit. It looks like the engine's shut down. Damn, things must be worn out or something. Let's head down there now. Hopefully we can get them running again with the stuff on the sub. I'll be taking that. Reward hard earned. knock. Anyone home? We're just a bunch of hijackers. You can come out. We won't kill you on the spot, you know. We're not you. Now, before we head in there, where does that door lead to? Another engine, I'm guessing? No, that's just a bathtub. Let's see, bunk, kitchen. No, that's mess hole, kitchen. And there's the engine. What do we have here? Rafik, I got a question for you. Yeah? Most folks around here call the city Oakland, but I hear a bunch say Orkland too. You grew up around here. Which do you prefer? I say Oakland, though I don't mind when people say the other one, as long as they're orcs or friends. Orkland used to be a slur back when Saito and his kind started expelling all the metahumans from the city. A lot of us lived here to begin with, and our numbers kept growing as orcs were kicked out of more and more places. But we're proud of our home, proud of who we are, so people around here embrace the name. They started selling Orkland t-shirts, stickers, all sorts of merch. Those who had a problem with the name fled elsewhere, and now it's become a trendy statement. That sounds kinda cool. I grew up in the Central Valley, and we orcs weren't too popular. Sis and me were goblinized, and our ma seemed to think it was her fault. At least you escaped that place. I won't say that growing up orc out here is easy, but it did help to have a lot of my own kind around. Being orc was different, but not wrong or shameful. Whenever an outsider would start trouble by roughing up a little orc kid, a crew of us would show up and kick their ass. I could have used someone like that back in Sacramento. I doubt I'll ever have orc kids of my own, but if I do, I want them to be unafraid of who they are. Weird. Engines look like they're in great condition, but something's sheared right through the power couplings. I think I spotted some bulk wiring near the hatch. Let's grab it. And the door is locked. What the fuck? How intriguing. I wonder what could be causing this. This is unnerving. Okay, I swear that door was unlocked earlier. You guys saw it too, right? I can't be going crazy. Nowhere to go but down, then. Come on, saboteur, show yourself. Show yourself. And we won't have a further altercation if you do that, please. Aha! Just as I thought. You must go, you have to leave. You do not belong here, you must die, all die. Read the spirit's aura. Your third eye slides open. You're immediately overwhelmed by the vivid brightness of the spirit's aura, which seems to pulse and crackle with haphazard energy. The dead blackness of the submarine remains dark, but you notice faint tendrils of life force strung through the hull, like rebar through concrete. The spirit does not seem particularly powerful, but it is also much less stable than you expected. Its fluctuating exertions seem to be wreaking a subtle havoc on the structure of the ship. Your third eye slides back shut, plunging you back into the darkness of the submarine. Who are you? This is for you, Elena. Elena, my love, I am sorry. Well, if you insist, then so be it. Catch these. And also these. After all, I ain't afraid of no ghost. I will be back, I cannot leave. Oh, Helena, forgive me. Oh, Helena, forgive me. Well, I guess we gotta defeat him one more time, or at least find his fetter. Who are you? I'm a friend. You saw the captain. Our leader will destroy. Our leader is strength. Yosef will tear this ship apart. It will not help. We must remain here until the end. What happened here? All of existence, birth, growth, death, but it was all wrong. The wrong order. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. Confused, I heard it, I saw it, I tasted it, I smelled it, but I did not understand it. And now, I cannot remember. Who are you? I am. I am. That is all I remember. A flash, a vivid burst of emotions calling me. So violent, so hungry. I am. I was. I am. Can you help? Can you teach me who I was back when I was me? Perhaps then I will be able to leave. Yeah, how do I restart the power? So much searching. I can feel them now, those who hunt you, those who have reclaimed the ship. All those bright, eager, hungry, jealous souls casting their thoughts down below the water, sending their hate here. We three, we miserable trio, we are the sub. The sub is us. We may tear it apart. We may release it. The chip ghost. You must find the record written in silicon, the soul of cyber, in memory in metal. Find the answers. Explain it to us. Then we may know. Then we may leave. Maybe she's talking about the terminal, like electronic records or something? That's my only guess. We should check it out. If you insist. Oh, rats. Literally. At least they are somewhat easy to deal with. CFSS Sisyphus, property of Shiawase Envirotech, a division of Shiawase CFS. Safeguards removed, accepting queries. What is the current ship status? Hull integrity 80%, weapon systems online, torpedoes available 8, electronic security disabled, recording offline. Communications offline, engines offline, power reserves 86%, power active 1%. Who served on board this vessel? Fetching most recent manifest, please wait. Captain Peter Yosef, First Officer, redacted. Engineer Elena Proz, redacted, redacted, redacted. Let's look at Elena first. Name Elena Proz, title Engineer, date of birth 2032, April 11th, hometown Hayward, CFS. And Yosef. Peter Yosef, title Captain, date of birth 2025, August 20th, hometown Daly City, CFS. Oh, congratulations on his birth as of a week and a day ago. Hopefully you won't meet that same end over here. And who else? What else can we look at? What happened here? Search parameters are too broad. Please restate your query. Access Shiawase data store. File system is mounted in write-only mode. Access granted only to authorized Shiawase Matrix personnel. Well, Sable, up you go. It's always a good idea to acquire a decker first. Because that is exactly what they are paid to do. +5 system trace as expected. And like that. Very good. One more. There we go. Now we can explore freely. Matrix barrier here, which means we go to the left first. Couple more ice, but nothing we cannot handle. And one more. And tell me, friend. Then again, I get everything I wanted, so... There we go. Everyone ready? I know I am. Easy. Disable data firewall. Firewall disabled for routine system maintenance. And now we can go to the right. What do we have here? Oh, a couple more. Oh, good thing we have Blaster on standby. And now you. Because you will suffer. You will die. Sayonara, sucker. But where's our target? Ah, of course. What do we have? First of all, we get the pay data, hydropower study, and the lockers. Crew storage unlocked. Please claim your items from the lower deck. I think we got everything we needed from this one. So let's see. Ship manifest. We have that. Elena Prost, Peter Yosef. Pay data, hydropower study. This dense and technical document describes Shiawase Envirotech's mapping of the seafloor around San Francisco with an eye towards the potential for power generation by damming the Golden Gate. Of course they'd do that. Let's see. Search for a specific item. Dam? No. I? No. Seafloor, also no. Let's have a look once again. Hydropower, maybe. Also no. Torpedo. No. Locker. Alright, fine. I suppose we'll go down there and check the belongings. First one. A wild one. This SMG bucks and kicks with every shot, impossible to control. Its accuracy is reduced, but it has a chance to hit adjacent targets. Ah, some more demon rats. These look even more demonic than before. Everyone in position? Very good. Because we are live! Don't mess with us. I'm sure it won't. And that one. Nice shot, buddy. Now catch these. Reach you from here? I absolutely can. Very good. But I cannot hit you just yet, it seems. Maybe we can just leave you here and... Come on now. Surely we can do better than that. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Any other lockers we can look into? Does not ring a bell just yet. Now what if we ask the computer about this SMG? Let's see. Wild one. Up with one. Weapon. SMG. Fine, we'll just talk to the ghost then. Who is Elena Proz? Elena. Elena is me. Or I chose to become Elena. Or Elena turned into me. An engineer, fixing, writing, tightening, screwing. Keep the vessel afloat. Keep it moving. Never stop. Don't stop. An object? A prize? I can almost remember. I cannot remember. Who is Peter Yosef? The captain. My captain. Our leader. Our savior. Our destroyer. So quiet. So careful. So generous. always watching, planning, preparing to provide. And then, but no, I can't think of that. I must not. The spirit averts her face and flings out an ethereal arm pointed away from the room. There, find that. Seek answers. I feel fear. I do not want to live it again. I have to live it again or I will never live again. There we go. Much more demonic. Message to Sophie Dirks. Attention, Sophie Dirks. I have a plan. Meet me in the armory at 1500 hours. Captain Yosef. His name, Sophie Dirks. Title, First Mate. Date of birth, 2033, January 8th. Hometown, Hayward, CFS. Note, additional records available for viewing. Uploading log entries to main memory. Done. View logs. Captain's log 2056, February 14th. Picked up the new skeleton crew today. Shiowas is spreading us thinner than ever before, but at least they don't skimp on electronics. The Sisyphus practically runs itself. We just need to push the right buttons in the right time and stay out of each other's way. I was a bit shocked to find out that Dirks and Praz are sisters. Not yet sure if this was an oversight back at headquarters or if they have connections back at HQ to pull that kind of assignment. I'm not looking forward to spending 3 months with these siblings. So, Elena Praz, Sophie Dirks, they're both sisters. Next, March 17th. We're dead in the water. Well, dead under the water. No engines, no communication. Trapped down here. We can recycle oxygen indefinitely, but the food... The rats appeared. Where could they have come from? We've been underwater for months without a sign. And now that the sub is damaged, they're suddenly all over the place. Underfoot. Constantly multiplying. I'm going to talk to the captain about this again. No matter what precautions we take, the rats always find our food, always eat it. We're out of everything. Not a crumb left anywhere. Maybe he has something stashed away, some emergency store that will help us survive for just a few more days. Maybe help will finally come. That was Engineer's log. This one's also Engineer's log. March 18th. Captain Yosef is a genius. Sophie and I were panicking, convinced that the rats would be our destruction, when they were our salvation all along. Neither of us have been able to catch any of them, but Peter set up a trap for something and killed enough to make a feast. We dined for over an hour on delicious kebabs, drank all that was left of the wine. He put his hand on my knee. I didn't complain. I just wish that Sophie could have joined us. Peter just has had her working in the torpedo room ever since yesterday. I haven't even seen her today. He has some kind of plan to get us out of here. Now that our strength is regained from devouring the rats, we'll be able to make our move. I just hope that he lets me relieve her soon so she can eat as well. She must be starving by now. Captain's log, March 21st. Elena is on to me. After last night, I'd hoped that she would be content by my side, but she snuck into the torpedo room while I was asleep. Of course, she didn't find her sister. She hasn't pieced everything together yet, but she will. Maybe she already has and isn't prepared to accept it. We're going to die. Why rush towards our death? Why should three suffer together? Why not try and enjoy the time we have left, indulge our carnal desires, the lure of all flesh? We two could live here happily for a month. Longer if we stretch our bounty. And if we cooperate, if we agree to each sacrifice what we need, then we need too. We could diminish gracefully, becoming less as our lives extend, leaving our bodies behind as we inch towards the afterlife. Oh, brother, the captain was the first to lose his mind, and he's suggesting cannibalism to sisters. Or at least one of the sisters. Engineer's log, 2056, March 21st. No, no, no! I didn't know, but I should have. We were sisters. I should have felt something. I should have sensed it. Or at the least I should have refused to take the first bite until I saw her safe again. Peter has gone mad. Or perhaps he was always mad. Perhaps this disaster just gave him the excuse to indulge his sick craving. Or maybe he caused the disaster in the first place. I never learned what caused the explosion or where the rats came from. His proposal was untenable. I ran and locked myself in this room, and I prayed for eternal damnation upon his soul. To any good who would listen, to God who would listen, to any spirit, to any being, I will give anything, my life, my mind, my all. I cannot change my past, so I will make his future the same hell that mine has become. Very poor choice of words. A month of starving to death is too light a punishment. My vengeance must be eternal. March 22nd. Something answered. So much blood. So much such screams. I don't regret it, but I'm so afraid. I promised them everything. This vessel is theirs. My body is theirs. Their own private hell on earth. And with each passing moment, the slick oilness of their evil seeps deeper into my soul. His body is still out there. What's left of it. I'm so hungry. He showed me the way. I could keep on living. Just a taste. It does not matter. Not when he's dead. His final gift. God. God. What has he done to me? What have I become? Automated Ship Report. 2056, March 22nd. Gunshot detected. No significant hull damage. Returning to surface. No life signs remain on board. Reverting security settings. That explains it. There they are. Fuck this shit! Oh, great idea, Percy. Why not hop into this conveniently located submarine for a getaway? It's sure to be a smooth ride. I'm sure it definitely won't be populated by the spirits of a bunch of wage slave cannibals. Each minute we spend in this nightmare, it's worse than the one before. I'm afraid that if we don't get out of here soon, we may be stuck forever, just like them. And I mean forever. Fascinating. I wasn't sure what to expect when we set foot on this vessel, but it certainly was not this. Let's end this. I hope there won't be any more nasty surprises. Why have you returned? Do you have knowledge for me? I read the log files. I know that you killed Peter after what he did to Sophie. I did? I did. Yes. Yes, that explains so much. I felt so ravenous, always devouring but never full, eating away at the emptiness inside myself, but each bite only makes me more hungry. And what do you think of my story? Do I horrify you, frighten you, or do you feel pity? Yosef did wrong, but that does not excuse your own actions. Peter's actions explain my own, even if they do not justify them, just as my actions will explain yours. You're about to attack us, aren't you? I remember. Spirit of Peter, I remember. Sophie, I remember. This vessel, it is our relic. It is our coffin. It is our weapon. We shall destroy this vessel and all within it. Then we may find release. So may it be. You know, this would be fine if we were up on the shore, but now that we're down here, there will be no peaceful resolution. So congratulations. Now you will learn why I'm named Five Finger Discount. Sophie, you should be the first to go. It's only proper. I will feed on your flesh. No, I don't think so. Here. Your sacrifice gives us life, huh? Fine then. I guess you want to go next. Even if it's not the correct order to do so, at least from my perspective. But sure. If you insist, I am happy to oblige. Apologies for that. Just one more strike is all I'll need. Sable, maybe you. There we go. That's it, right? No more spirits? All right then. Great. Let's get this engine repaired. Sweet, I declare the submarine functional once more. I'll pilot us north to Emeryville. We can pop up near the marina there and lose ourselves in Orktown before Shiawase spots us. Sit back and enjoy the ride. I want to check out the rest of the sub first. Alright, we've got time. Let's see if we haven't missed anything else. Like something in the restroom, I think. No, that's where the deed happened, I'm guessing. Where Elena offed herself. This, if we recall, is where the captain got torn up by the demons, and this is where he chopped up Sophie. Not a pleasant place to be in overall. Hopefully they'll scuttle the submarine after that. And now we can leave. Percy pilots the submarine north along the shore, while you monitor sonar for pursuit. A dragnet of large vessels have started sweeping the area, but you find an opening through the line and Percy makes landfall along the Emeryville marina. After slaving the vessel's command module to her rig, she directs the sub back to the seafloor while you locate a conveniently unattended delivery truck. Soon you, Percy, and 300 pounds of frozen soy burgers are on the freeway, headed back home. Soy burger. And that's another 8 karma into our character. So that's another point into charisma. Another point into chi casting and spell casting. And that should be it. And don't worry, I'll be finishing up over here as well. So, save and quit. And on that note, thank you for coming. And hopefully I will see you all on Saturday, where we will actually get around to reading the chapter of the Dictator's Handbook that we were supposed to be reading on Tuesday. Good night, and stay safe. Don't let the ghost